York City. He is officially the greatest New York Knickerbocker of all time.
There was an instant backlash in that studio. They said it was too early. Williams, however, was not responding on an emotional level. He was seeing the real-time breaking of a record that had stood since 1984. Because Brunson now has more 40-point playoff games in his career as a Knick than any other player in the team's history. He surpassed Bernard King, a Hall of Famer, the man with the highest single-season scoring average. Then there's the figure that really makes the point indisputable. With 26 30-point performances in just 56 postseason games, Brunson retains the Knicks' record for the most. Only 18 of the team's 135 postseason games saw Patrick Ewing, the team's all-time top scorer, finish with 30 or more points. In a portion of the games, Brunson surpassed him in less than half. Williams was simply the only one who was paying enough attention, therefore he wasn't early. I want to briefly discuss Prize Picks, today's video sponsor, and why it's the greatest daily fantasy sports software available before we move on. The New York...
Step back to the half-court line and take one shot if it's good. Here you go home with $75,000.
Cavs might want a timeout if he scores.
Brunson, three-pointer, puts it in!
York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs, two legendary teams, will compete in the NBA Finals. Additionally, I wanted to transfer some of the series' energy into a few selections for the Spurs' first game against the Knicks that truly captured my attention. Thanks to Prize Picks, Jalen Brunson is the only one with a time-limited promotion to go more on 0.5 points. To go more on 0, I chose a 4-player lineup for him. Stephen Castle will go further on 11 with 5 points. Devin Vassell will go more on 1 after 5 points. Cat will make 2 more 3-pointers after making 5 assists. The Brunson choice is very obvious. In today's game, 1 point from one of the stars would be greatly appreciated. Castle hasn't scored fewer than 12 points in a game since April 10th. He has been the primary factor in the Spurs' success during this postseason run, aside from Wemby. Karl-Anthony Towns' spacing is the primary change the Knicks have made. His ability to locate players like Bridges and OG results in a fantastic line of more than 2.5 assists. Since April 10th, he has only missed this line in 2 games. There isn't enough discussion regarding Devin Vassell's skill as an NBA shooter. In 11 of his last 13 games, he has made 2 or more 3.
He the best nigga ever, bro. I don't watch the Knicks all my damn life. I ain't never seen nobody do this in New York.
I'm rolling. He the best ever.
Yeah, he's had moments, bro.
I've never seen nobody do this in New York. I love Pat Ewing.
3-pointers, and he is free to shoot whenever he wants. His deep spacing will be crucial to the Spurs' success in this series. As a flex play or a 3, it's a good 2.5-time payoff. 25-time payout as a power play. For my part, I used this lineup as a power play. To view all of my lineups, you can also follow me on the Hoop Dungeon app. The majority of states, including California, Texas, and Florida, provide Prize Picks, so there's a good possibility you can participate. For new users, this is the deal. Get $50 in lineups right away by downloading the app and playing your first $5 lineup with the code HMA. The description contains the URL. Additionally, Brunson was universally chosen as the Eastern Conference Finals MVP by the time the Knicks defeated Cleveland to secure their spot in the NBA Finals. 25, 5 and 7 points. 48 shots, 8 assists per game. 7% while leading the Knicks to their longest ever winning streak of 11 games. Walt Frazier and Patrick Ewing.
Watching the greatest Knick ever to play in that Knick uniform. I firmly believe that. He embodies everything that I think the Knicks...
Clyde Frazier.
He has a chance to before
become...
said and done.
Yeah.
I think we will be talking about him in that capacity.
Were the 2 individuals who gave Brunson the Larry Bird Trophy. The victor of the Larry Bird Trophy, Jalen Brunson was unanimously chosen as the 2026 Eastern Conference Finals Most Valuable Player. On the same floor, in front of everyone, 2 legendary figures from the franchise are giving it to the man who will take their place at the front of the conversation. Here's what makes this particular moment unique, though. Before that evening, Frazier had already anticipated this. He said this when seated next to Brunson at Fanatics Fest in New York City, back in 2024. It's challenging in this place because the expectations are often too high. Thus, in his first 2 years, he was able to rise to the occasion, take on the task, and lead the team. He has the potential to be among the greatest things in history, you know. This Hall of Fame point guard, who guided the Knicks to their lone 2 titles, believes Brunson can be the greatest Knick ever before any of his recent accomplishments because Frazier is the only person who truly understands what it takes to be captain in New York, the weight of a fervent city that loves you without conditions and demands everything in return. He continued by drawing a comparison between Brunson and Willis Reed, who was the core of the winning teams. It makes me think of Willis Reed a lot. Both of them are lefties. Their work ethic is tenacious. They are constantly compassionate and sharing. And the idea of putting the team first. They are constantly considering the team rather than themselves. The man who, despite having a torn thigh muscle, inspired an entire city by playing in Game 7 of the 1970 Finals. When Frazier looks at Brunson, he sees that person. The same leadership, the same tenacity, and the same subdued manner of leading his squad without ever putting himself first. Frazier saw something in Brunson that this franchise hadn't seen since 1973, so he decided to open that door even though he didn't have to. And now, 2 years later, here we are. The current captain was now carrying the torch that once characterized the Knicks' glory. However, in order to really comprehend Brunson's significance to the New York Knicks, you must return to the team's pre-Brunson state. The Knicks had only won 8 postseason games in the 21 years prior to his arrival. Just 8 postseason victories in the world's largest basketball market, with Hall of Fame players and 2-time scoring champion Carmelo Anthony in his peak. Season after season after season, the basketball mecca had turned into a place where hope died, the culture was shattered, and the people were worn out. Brunson then showed up. Over the course of 4 seasons, he guided the Knicks to the postseason each year, made it past the first round, and produced 33. Former Knick Quentin Richardson was one of the few who openly said what that meant. Put everyone together, it is everyone's collective. When you combine the supporters of the Giants, Jets and Islanders, they are all rooting for the Knicks. Therefore, even when you are outside the building, going to dinner, going to the movies, or strolling through the streets, these guys are always reminding you that they are the most conscious fans of all. The 13th man who doesn't even wear a suit will be known to them. He has something to say, and they will recognize him when he walks the streets. Since I played for the 516th and I may be taken from it, I mean, you really enjoy it. The sacrifice alone sets Brunson apart from every player who has ever worn that uniform, ring or no ring. As soon as he signed the extension, his legacy began to take shape. The finest part of this narrative is still to come, so if Brunson can give up $113 million, you can spare 2 seconds. Yours begins with a like and a subscribe. Prior to this, every voice expressed it through headlines, radio, or television. It was uttered right in front of Jalen Brunson by Kendrick Perkins. Back in February, Perkins told Brunson exactly what he thought while seated across from him on the Roommates podcast. Then, during the Eastern Conference Finals opening game, he appeared on NBA Today and provided the background that fundamentally altered the discussion surrounding the 29-year-old's legacy. This dude is about to pass out. On the brink and has the chance to transform into the greatest Knick ever, alter the story, and walk into a room where only a select few individuals are seated, a dinner table with Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas, because the story has been what? An undersized guard leading the charge won't help you win. Chandy is big body Brunson. I witnessed his leadership. I thought, I've never seen big body Brunson do this before, when he stood up and spoke in the huddle while inspiring his team in that video of him on the bench. It was simply on an other level. An undersized guard leading the charge won't help you win. Before Brunson ever played a game in New York, they set that limit on him. Too small and too constrained. Perhaps a very talented player, but he was never the kind of player who could lead a team to a championship. Brunson's actions on the floor necessitate it, after all. Along with LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Oscar Robertson, he is the first player to score 30 points and dish out 5 assists in 5 straight postseason games. standing next to the best athletes in this sport's history as a 6'2" second-round choice. That, in and of itself, demonstrates how far this narrative has progressed, and why people are beginning to seriously consider the possibility that Jalen Brunson could become the greatest Knick of all time. Colin Cowherd was Brunson's biggest critic for a full 2 years. Every great success story has its detractors. He described him as an excellent, but not outstanding, player. Not as much of a superstar as Shea or Jokic. He maintained that Brunson would only be a second or third choice on a team capable of winning a championship. Additionally, he continued to promote it on national television as late as April 2026. After the Knicks swept Cleveland and Philadelphia, Colin did what all skeptics must finally do. He took a seat again and acknowledged the reality. Be regarded as a celebrity. He doesn't need it, so he doesn't look for it. All you need to know about Jalen Brunson is that, because he understands and sees the larger picture, he accepted a lower salary to play for the New York Knicks. Additionally, if he receives a prize, it will be worth more than $100 billion during his lifetime. The whole picture. The greatest Knick ever. You can tell the discussion is ended when the loudest skeptic in the room abruptly stops debating and begins praising brilliance. However, no one's viewpoint has shifted more significantly than Stephen A. Smith's. Stephen A. declared the Knicks a disaster as soon as they signed Jalen Brunson in free agency. He publicly questioned Brunson's potential to be more than a skilled athlete. Then, earlier in the season, he doubled down once again, attributing the Knicks' problems to Brunson and claiming that the enormous discount he accepted ultimately prevented the team from being a serious contender for the championship. It was just a few weeks ago. Then everything was different. New York made it to the NBA Finals for the first time in 27 years thanks to Brunson. The man who had been doubting him for years was now forced to face reality as he unanimously awarded MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals. He is a small man. He is the best choice. He is the team's undeniable star. Without a question. He is not accompanied by Willis Reed on the team. Dave DeBusschere is not a member of his team.